So amidst all of these, I think there are 2 or 3 specific things we need to realize. One is we are now realizing that excellence can be of Indian origin, which is a great development, pretty much under our noses. You know, when we started, we said we are developing our own IP, and everybody laughed. What has not been invented in the Western world was simply not acceptable. Intellectual property could not be conceived anywhere outside the Western world. But that situation has now changed, and most important is Three Idiots, the film where they are celebrating a flour mill on a scooter kind of a thing. So I heard Professor Seth saying there's need for innovation. There is even more important and imperative need for innovation that has already happened, but not recognized as innovation, not recognized as equal to potentially a Google. It doesn't have the sex appeal of quote-unquote innovation from large companies in the Western world, probably with the imprimatur of a multinational company. So I think first is, therefore, we should recognize that these guys, unless they innovated, and they're innovating all the time, these guys would have died long ago. So we need recognition, and that recognition is only now happening. There is a large reaffirmation of an Indian-ness. Actually, with globalization. It's not the forum to discuss the whys of that phenomenon, but see it, and you will see it in all the ads that you see where every word is a Hindi word, but the text is English. Hum aapke hain, hamesha, etc., which is the Indian Oil thing. You see, every word is Hindi, but the text is in English. Now, that's a unique development after globalization. Western orientation was the only way, but now, after all the Karan Johar films and so on, now guys are hanging out in traditional dresses. They wear silk things like this and not a tie. So I think all of these are very interesting things that we should recognize. And I think we need to celebrate this change or this trend. And third is that I think the point that Rajiv made about open source and the importance of open source is if there is one message that goes out of the conference to the government and the world at large, it should be that message. We need open source. Let me tell you what actually happens. If you now see, go to buy a netbook, you will find a board that says, it's a special Microsoft something edition for home for India, for distributed only in India, to be opened only in India and stuff like that. Apparently, it's at a lower price. Now, what actually happens is that it's very difficult in the current licensing and the fee regime of the international technology giants. It's very difficult to stay legitimate. In fact, you might say it is impossible to stay legitimate and still survive. So what happens is that, say you take a couple of licenses, and obviously you will put it on 4 PCs. Yeah? You have 2 licenses, and you put it on 4 PCs. You're kind of borderline legitimate. You're not completely a pirate. Yeah? But then what happens? Those guys come and pay you a visit and say, hey, here I am. I know because as soon as you connected to the net, the machine went and did chugli and said, you know what, this joker has got four machines on your 2 license. So they come and say that, hey, here I am. I'm not going to tell the cops. But, what about 2 more licenses? So what do? You shut 2 of the machines down. Yeah, now when you shut 2 of the machines down, you no longer have 4 PCs capable of doing that fully functional. You only have 2 PCs. Now, battling these, the solution is open source. I have nothing against Microsoft. I have nothing against paying licenses. But there has to be some semblance of sense and an understanding of the context. It is anything but customer-driven. We can talk about marketing, but the international and technology software licensing regimen is simply not customer-driven. It's only greed-driven and probably inspired by Mr. Gates, infinite greed-driven. So there is another thing that we want the conference to recognize and put into the recommendation. So that's where it is. I think the times are changing, and I think it's a great thing to be an entrepreneur. It's still not legitimate. You'll have a problem. The girls will have a problem finding boys, and boys will have a problem persuading the potential fathers-in-law as to what he is doing. I run my own company and I have 2 employees, you're dead. So the guy who's working in KPMG, he's in. Yeah? So these are the things that I think the media, that we are speaking about media must celebrate. We need to celebrate, and the process of celebrating things Indian has begun. So presumably we'll start celebrating things that are small Indian. So be inspired by Schumacher, who said mass production in the third world is to be interpreted as production by the masses. And I think we have a great thing to look forward to in terms of, as an SME thing. Having done both, I have worked in a company, then I have started something, and I'm now back into working. There's a lot of things to be said for entrepreneurship, and there's a lot of things to be said for entrepreneurship to have a clear, successful exist in financial terms as well. If you're small, it's very easy to end up staying small unless you're very lucky. So you need to really figure it out in terms of what you want to do, because sooner or later you're going to be 50 years old. Sooner or later your kids are going to grow up and have aspirations that are beyond your wallet. So you need to really plan for that if you're an entrepreneur, in terms of how you really want to what do you want to really achieve. So I wish you all success. As always, success, the defining it is in fact the most difficult test. It's not achieving it. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.